Kling AI made huge waves last week with the release of its awesome new free AI video generator. I tested out every animation style in Kling's video generator to push the limits of what the AI can do. I took images from each visual style, put them into the image to video generator, and compiled the results. I'll show you everything I found, including the best results, but also the problems that I ran into, so you can decide for yourself whether or not Kling is the best video generator for you. Starting us off is film noir, which is a black and white style used in crime and mystery movies. The human animations turned out good. This scene with two lovers was one of my best results. The way the shadows dance around but stay consistent at the same time without flickering is pretty nice. I prompted for a werewolf transformation. You can kind of see the person crouching down at the end, maybe to turn into a wolf, but the video cuts off. Right now only 5-second videos are possible. Maybe if this was a 10-second video, the complete transformation would happen. Non-humanoid subjects also worked well, although for this goblin creature, you can see the head distort and flatten towards the end. Next up are vintage historical films, another genre that worked really well. Kling does good with any photorealistic types of images, even though some of these include unique structures like robots. For this giant lizard, you do notice that when it opens its mouth, the color grading of the film changes. There's a pink color inside its mouth when ideally it would stay brown like the rest of the picture. The woman's hand also deforms a bit. For this mini mammoth walking, there's this smooth camera panning motion as it walks forward. The motion is kinda slow, but I'm okay with that if there isn't any warping. Moving on, we have sci-fi style images. The animations weren't as good for these. For this photo, I wanted a video with the camera pulling backwards. On the left, I simply prompted for the camera to pull back, and the motion is way too strong. The camera zooms around super fast. We can control the movement a bit though. On the right, I changed the prompt, asking for it to move slowly with subtle motion. The camera doesn't exactly pull back, but the motion is a lot smoother. Here's an example where the scene switches. It starts off animating the image, but swaps to a totally different rocket. This didn't happen that often for me, maybe 1 out of 10 images. I prompt for this woman to turn her head, but it stays still, although the video still looks good. For more uncommon subjects, the AI can struggle, and the back of the bug lifts up towards the sky and stretches out its torso. Some of the absolute best results I got were for 3D game cinematic style renders. Think of these as images from Final Fantasy or the new Harry Potter games. This was my favorite video. There's two subjects, the man with the sword and the monster in the back. If you look closely at the arm holding the sword, it does deform a bit, but that's hardly noticeable. I really like how the creature in the background stays out of focus, but you can still see it moving around and opening its mouth. It does struggle with hands. The boy's hand is holding the wand in a weird way at the end of this video. You can tell Kling has been trained on a lot of game cinematics. There's a flash of text that appears at the bottom of this video for subtitles. After 3D animations, I tried out Pixar style videos. Surprisingly, Kling didn't perform that well in these. The motion for a lot of them was fairly slow, which isn't a huge problem, but its competitor Luma AI seems to animate much more dynamic motion for these types of videos. Look closely at the eyes. You'll notice some weird flickering from time to time. This line has good animation and movement, but the eyes do look a bit off. The coloring isn't quite right. Maybe it's just too bright. For this vampire lady, you'll notice the background shifting around and the face compresses a bit. I tried out Surrealism style videos. I didn't expect much since these are kind of out of the box, but I was pleasantly surprised with a lot of them. The way the books bend and fall around the man looks natural to me. By the way, I'll be testing out text to video prompts, so make sure to subscribe for that. I did run into the issue of scene switching in the middle of a video a few times with these. If anyone has a way to prevent this, let me know. That would save everyone a lot of time. Next, I tried retro anime films. I haven't seen any AI video generators that do super well with anime, so compared to its competitors, I'd say Kling does alright. The detective has really good hand motion with his weapon. You can see him aiming at different targets. Unfortunately, the background blurs and deforms behind him. I asked for this dragon to breathe fire. It creates a bright, fiery explosion that's not exactly what I expected. I wanted fire to come out of its mouth. I was pretty happy with how this flying forest spirit turned out. There are some particles flying around in the environment, and the shape and the details of the spirit stay consistent. Overall, I think AI anime animations still have some ways to go, but Kling is better than a lot of other alternatives out there. Vector animations were hit and miss, some subtle motion here. This spaceship was one of my favorites though. It has really good consistency, and the motion is very clean. I'm going to be trying out this specific style a lot more. In this astronaut graphic, the background switches out and the edges don't look clean, although the motion is decent. A lot of them did deform quite a bit. As a final test, I animated fantasy animal photos I generated in Midjourney. These are mythical creatures or combinations of two animals like a giraffe and a gorilla. It kind of morphs into a normal giraffe instead of preserving the hybrid shape in the original image. Looking back now, I should have added the word text to the negative prompt. There were a few videos which had subtitles popping up in the middle. As I'd expect, Kling does good when animating photorealistic images, but I do wish there was a way to prevent these scene switches from happening. So far, Kling looks really good, and they haven't even released all their features or their highest quality model yet. It works best with photorealistic images, but it also does really well with 3D animations and renders. If you're interested in trying out Kling for yourself and want a guide on how to get started, go and take a look at this tutorial I made over here.